Chapter 4, The Girl with Radio Eyes. From the Diary of Emily Cale. If someone had asked me that afternoon what was more insane, being whispered to by static voices from the sky or having a complete stranger sit beside me and casually mention ID been marked, I genuinely wouldn't have had an answer. Sorry, who are you? I asked, inching away on the bench. The girl didn't blink. You can call me Vega. Like the star. Of course her name was Vega. She looked about my age, maybe a year older. Sharp black bob, combat boots with silver laces, and a stare that felt like it could read Wi-Fi signals. I half expected her eyes to start glowing and Bluetooth pair with my soul. I saw your frequency spike, she continued, tapping a small device on her wrist that looked suspiciously like a hacked Fitbit. Happens when one of us activates. Usually after a sighting or a voice transmission. Okay. So you're saying you're like me? She nodded. Marked. Modified. Monitored. Great. I had joined a club I didn't sign up for. I don't mean to be rude, I said, but how do I know you're not just like, super into conspiracy TikTok? Vega smirked. Because your mark is pulsing right now. Left side, just under your hairline. I reached up instinctively. It was pulsing. Again. Before I could reply, her wrist device beeped. She looked at it, frowned, and muttered, "We don't have much time." Until what? Until they tune in. Of course. They. Always capitalized. Vega stood up. Meet me tonight. The water tower. Midnight. Bring your coordinates journal. I didn't get the chance to ask how she knew I had one. She just walked off like some glitchy NPC with a tragic backstory. And I was left sitting there with a smoothie ID forgotten to drink and a growing sense that I was living in an episode of The X-Files, but with worse lighting. That night, I didn't tell Mason. I just scribbled a quick note gone to scream into the void. Back soon. 3 and snuck out the back door. The water tower loomed above the edge of town like a giant alien eyeball on stilts. Vega was already there, legs dangling off the catwalk like it was no big deal. You brought the coordinates? She asked. I handed her my notebook. She flipped through, nodding. Yeah. These are all hot spots. You've been pinged. Pinged. It means you're on their radar. You're resonating. And when enough of us resonate at once. She trailed off. I waited. What? What happens? She looked at me seriously. We unlock the gate. The gate to what? Vega just smiled. That's the fun part. And then, because apparently my life is a sitcom now, a squirrel dropped directly onto my head from the water tower, knocking my flashlight out of my hands and triggering a full-body scream that echoed all the way to the next town. Somewhere, I swear I heard a voice in the static laugh. Chapter 5. The Gate is Not a Metaphor. From the Diary of Emily Cale. Let me just say this, when someone says, "We're unlocking the gate," you assume it's metaphorical. Like, unlocking the gate of understanding. Or consciousness. Or maybe access to the special members-only subreddit for the abducted. Nope. The gate was real. And it was buried under the Greyston water tower. After I recovered from my squirrel-induced heart attack, Vega showed me the hatch beneath the tower base. A rusted metal trapdoor, hidden under a suspiciously fake-looking patch of grass. She pulled it open with zero hesitation. How did you even find this? I asked. Project Echo has blueprints online. If you know where to look. Which is totally not terrifying. The ladder inside led down farther than should be legally allowed in a small-town municipal structure. We climbed for what felt like forever. My arms were burning, my boots were sweaty, and halfway down, I remembered I have a mild fear of enclosed spaces and falling into government tunnels that might lead to my doom. Almost there, Vega called. You said that 10 rungs ago. No, now we're almost there. When we finally hit the ground, I wasn't sure what I expected. A bunker. Lab equipment. Creepy mannequins in lab coats. What I did not expect, a perfectly round, glowing doorway made of humming metal, floating about a foot off the floor. Just hovering. Buzzing with that same static ID been hearing every night. It looked like a cross between a Stargate and a high-end Bluetooth speaker. My skin started to tingle. Not like goosebumps, like resonance. Like my bones were singing. Vega handed me back my notebook. Hold it near the gate. I did. The moment the page with the first set of coordinates got close, the gate flared. Bright blue. The notebook got warm. What is this? I whispered. It's a frequency lock, she said. The gate responds to your pattern. Your key. Oh cool, I said. So I'm a walking alien USB stick. Great. Suddenly, the mark behind my ear began to burn. Not warm. Not tingle. Burn. I dropped the notebook and fell to my knees. A sharp noise rang out, like every emergency broadcast test I've ever heard played at once. Vega knelt beside me. Breathe. Focus on the signal. Don't fight it. Easy for her to say. Her brain wasn't being hijacked by a cosmic ham radio. And then, I saw it. Not with my eyes, but in my head. A flash of symbols. The spiral star. A map. An enormous chamber filled with others, other kids, teens, marked like me. Hooked up to something. Like we were batteries. Or beacons. One of them turned. A girl. Blonde. Familiar. Emily, she said. You left us behind. I screamed. And the gate shut off. The room fell dark, except for Vega's device, blinking furiously. Okay, she said quietly. That shouldn't have happened yet. Yet. What do you mean yet? She looked at me with something between sympathy and awe. It's starting. You're activating faster than the others. I curled up on the cold floor, shaking. My head was buzzing. My mark was glowing through my hoodie. And the static wasn't whispering anymore. It was screaming. Chapter 6. Do not lick the portal. From the Diary of Emily Cale. Let me be extremely clear. I did not try to lick the portal. I thought about it. Briefly. Like when you see a wet paint sign and your brain's like, but how wet? But I didn't do it. Mason did. Yep. My 12-year-old brother. Let me rewind. After the gate episode, and I mean the full sci-fi meltdown with screaming static, secret tunnels, and ghost girls from my dreams, I swore I wouldn't tell anyone. Not Vega. Not the raccoons that live behind the diner. Especially not Mason. So of course, the next day he finds my notebook and follows me into the woods. Were you gonna tell me anything? Or just keep sneaking out like some glitchy forest goblin? He asked, popping out from behind a tree and nearly making me throw a flashlight at his face. I tried to push him back. He refused. I yelled. He yelled. The forest judged us both silently. In the end, I gave up. He followed me all the way to the water tower, down the ladder, and into the portal chamber. Whoa, he whispered. Is that a... Don't touch it. Can I poke it? No. Can I throw something into it? No. Can I? Mason. He pouted dramatically, like ID just cancelled his entire existence. Then, while I was distracted resetting Vega's device, he stuck his tongue out and... No. Mason. Too late. He licked the gate. The entire chamber lit up like a concert light show powered by existential dread. Sparks. Static. A high-pitched weeing sound like a teapot ascending into madness. Mason stood frozen. Then he blinked, looked at me, and said, Whoa. I can hear Wi-Fi. I yanked him back just as Vega burst through the tunnel entrance, eyes wide. What did he do? I pointed at my brother. He licked the portal. She stared at Mason. Mason smiled innocently. Vega muttered something in a language I'm pretty sure was not human. Okay, she said. That changes things. Because he licked it. No. Because it responded to him. That means. She trailed off. Then looked directly at me. There's more than one key. And just like that, my idiot little brother, who once got his head stuck in a peanut butter jar, had officially joined the Galactic Mystery Party. The static buzzed again. Louder now. Like a countdown. Mason suddenly clutched his head. Ooh, he groaned. Voices. What are they saying? Vega asked sharply. He squinted. I dunno. Something about convergence. My stomach flipped. That was the same word I'd seen scrawled in one of the old Project Echo documents. Convergence. Like a meeting point. Like a reunion. Or maybe a harvest. I looked at Vega. She nodded grimly. It's happening sooner than we thought.